Now, next on the agenda is our speaker, who will be giving us remarks concerning Veterans Day, Mr. A.J. Garza.
Good morning. Thanks for everyone that's in attendance, and also for the City of Mercedes for putting on this event for us. I've been asked to give read a letter from the American Legion. Americans never forget. This is what Veterans Day is really about. We remember the brave and honorable men and women who have served in our armed forces since the founding of our nation. 10 years ago, a veteran received overdue but well-deserved recognition nearly a century after his brave and legendary service. William Sheeman was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor for his World War I heroism. While fighting in France as a member of the Army's 47th Infantry Regiment, Sergeant Sheeman repeatedly left cover and exposed himself to enemy machine gun fire and rifle fire while rescuing wounded comrades over a 3-day period. Even after being shot in the head, he refused to accept medical help until his platoon was safely withdrawn. His bravery inspired his fellow soldiers to recommend him for the nation's highest military award. Senior brass rejected the request reportedly because Sheeman was Jewish and discrimination was far too common. The request at the time was downgraded to a Distinguished Service Cross, the nation's second highest award for military valor. Sheeman responded with humility that epitomizes so many heroes, saying, quote, "War's not about medals. I love my country, I love my men, that's all that counts." While Medal of Honor recipients are an elite class among the special group of people we call veterans, Sheeman's love for his country and his fellow soldiers is typical of the men and women we honor today. It is a brotherhood and a sisterhood, a bond cemented with blood. Just this summer, 6 soldiers risked their lives and gave aid to the wounded while subduing a shooter who opened fire at Fort Stewart, Georgia. The instant reaction of the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team was credited by law enforcement with preventing further fatalities. The fast action of these soldiers under stress and under trauma and under fire absolutely saved lives, Army Secretary Dan Driscoll said before adding, "They are everything that is good about this nation." While not all veterans see combat, an expressed willingness to sacrifice one's life is a requirement. It has been part of the commitment for military service since George Washington first commanded our troops, and it is not the only commitment to service that our veterans make. Only about 6% of American adults today have served in the military, yet it is a small and talented group that enables our communities to function. Chances are that if you surveyed your local police or fire departments, you would find a disproportionately high percentage of their members are veterans. When an emergency hits, there is a good chance that it is a veteran that is the first to respond. In most American communities, July 4th, 2025 was a day of celebration. For Central Texas, it was a day of horror. Flash floods ravaged Kerr County and killed 138 people, many young girls attending a summer camp. The death toll could have been more than double had it not been for the extraordinary actions of Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin and his crew. The 26-year-old New Jersey native led the search and triage operations at Camp Mystic, and it is credited with rescuing 169 victims in distress. Ruskin's actions were personally recognized by the Secretary of Homeland Security. He responded with the modesty that is so common among veterans, quote, "I'm just doing a job, that's what I signed up for, and I think that any single Coast Guard pilot, flight mechanic, whoever it may be, would have done the exact same thing in our situation. We just happen to be the crew that got the case," he told the media. Whether it's hurricane relief, defending our interests abroad, or search and rescue, America is fortunate to have such people willing to voluntarily risk their lives for us. When a veteran leaves the military, he or she is likely to be a key contributor to our communities. It may be as a school teacher, construction worker, or first responder. They may be a business owner, a real estate agent, or a medical professional. Regardless of occupation, veterans take their mission seriously. They vote in higher percentages than non-veterans. They are more likely to volunteer in their communities, and they are less likely to live in poverty. In short, veterans make our neighborhoods better. By virtue of your attendance here, you have shown an appreciation for veterans. The people here are veterans, friends of veterans, families of veterans, co-workers of veterans, and neighbors of veterans. It is up to us to ensure that every veteran feels that his or her service to his country is appreciated by their fellow Americans. For many veterans, our nation was important enough to endure long separations from their families, miss the birth of their children, freeze in sub-zero temperatures, roast in faraway deserts, lose limbs, and far too often their lives. Their families serve and sacrifice as well. Military spouses had to endure career interruptions, frequent change of address, and a disproportionate share of parental responsibilities. Children often had to deal with changes in schools, separation from friends, and hardest of all, the uncertainty of whether or not mom or dad would live through their next combat tour. Warriors need advocates, and that's why the American Legion exists. We are here to serve veterans, their families, and their communities. Veterans need each other, but more importantly, our country needs our veterans. You cannot fight a war without veterans, and while the idea of a society without conflict is appealing, let us not forget that wars have liberated slaves, stopped genocide, and toppled terrorists. The memories of war, the sacrifices made, and difficulties transitioning to civilian societies have taken a toll on too many veterans. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, more than 17 veterans a day take their own lives. Some believe the number is much higher. Regardless, the American Legion believes one suicide is too many, and we call on all Americans, all of us at this gathering, to be the one to save one. Reach out to a veteran you think may be struggling, ask how he or she is doing, and most of all, listen. Remember the three numbers 988. This is a national crisis line for anyone having suicidal thoughts. A situation that may seem hopeless today will certainly look better tomorrow when you realize you have the support of people that truly care. There is no better way to thank a veteran for their service than to let him or her know that we got their back. After all, veterans have had Americans' back for 250 years, humbly and proudly keeping our nation free no matter the danger. Just doing their job as an Army Sergeant from World War I and a Coast Guard rescue swimmer from 2025 alike would say, with the same measure of modesty, thank you, God bless America, and God bless our veterans.